All right, so for the derivative of the square root, what a lot of people don't seem to grasp, okay, is that this is really pretty much the same as the derivative of the exponent, okay? And I'm gonna tell you a little bit why. See? So before you do the derivative of any square root, okay, get used to the following. This right here is the same as this. Now, some of you might be thinking, okay, why? See, I have a video that explains it more in depth, but very quickly, okay, I'm just going to say that square root of x is the same as, with a 2 outside, square root of x. And so, where does the 2 comes from? It comes from there. Where does the 1 come from? It comes from here. Inside, I have x to the power of 1. See? And so, a similar example that we're going to see in just a second, f of x of, I don't know, 3, and then inside I have x squared, is the same as f of x equals, give me a second, x to the power of 2 divided by 3. See? And so, well, I have a video explaining it more, but intuitively, the derivative of square roots is just the derivative of the exponent. See? So first, turn like the square root into an exponent, okay, as I did here. Let me just rewrite it because the circles in red are distracting me. So I end up with f of x equals x to the power of 1 half. And now I do the derivative of an exponent. I have a video explaining it in detail, but basically this 1 half multiplies in front. I end up with 1 half times x to the power of 1 half minus 1. See? In the derivative of an exponent, let's remember that two things happen. First of all, ooh, that's kind of small. So first of all, we have that the exponent sort of like multiplies below. And secondly, we have that the exponent gets a minus 1. See? Sorry, it gets a minus 1. So that's what I did on this step right here. It doesn't let me move it for some reason. All right, that's fine. I'm just going to leave it there. So the exponent multiplies below. That's what this 1 half just did. The exponent gets minus 1. The minus 1 is right there. See? So now we want to leave it a little more pretty. So because we're multiplying here, ¿cierto? I end up with x to the power of 1 half minus 1 divided by 2. Now I leave the exponent pretty. I end up with x to the power of negative 1 half divided by 2. And because the exponent is negative, it goes on the bottom. See, everything goes on the bottom. So because of this negative up here, okay, because of this negative up here, I end up with the whole thing going on the bottom and switching the negative. So it's 1 divided by 2 times x 1 half. Oops, that does not look like 1 half. X to the power of 1 half. And we already said that x to the power of 1 half is just a square root. And so we end up with 1 divided by 2 square root of x. See? And so that is why, and a lot of people don't get this, that is why there is a 2 that goes in front when you do the derivative of square root of x. Okay, technically it's this little 2 here going down below. See? Now all the steps in between are what matter and understanding why and all that stuff. See? So the derivative of a square root is really no different than the derivative of an exponent. Let's look at one more example and we leave it there. So here we said that we had f of x with x squared inside and the little 3 on the outside. See? And so the little 3 on the outside goes here. The 2 that's inside goes here. See? So I do the derivative of this. See? So first things first, because it's an exponent, the 2/3 goes in front. So 2/3 times x to the power of 2/3 minus 1. Okay, so this is the same as 2 times x to the power of, how much is that? So I have 2/3 minus 3 over 3. It gives me negative 1/3. See, so I end up with 2x to the power of negative 1/3 divided by 3. All right, interesting. So what do I do from here? Well, because this has a negative exponent, all of this goes on the bottom. See? Now notice, I end up with 2 divided by 3 times x to the power of 1/3. See? 1/3. And this, leaving it a little more pretty, ends up being 2 to the power of 3 square root x like that, a 3 over here. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how the derivative of a square root works. Remember, it's basically the same as a derivative of an exponent. You just have to get familiar with the rules of square roots. Okay, so remember that this turns into that. Okay, remember where the 1 comes from, where the 2 comes from. Okay, no different than this 3 is this 3, this 2 is this 2. Okay, that's the kind of stuff that if you memorize or learn well, everything just kind of flows. Okay, so that is the derivative of a square root, which is really the derivative of an exponent, just a little harder. I hope it helped, and I'll see you around.